All right. So we got Chase Cochran here, B2B bookings, B2 bookings, right?
Yep.
But good to have you here, brother. How you doing today?
Good. Doing great. Better than I deserve.
Awesome, brother. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I guess before we get started here, I just want to get to like some of the bullet point notes. Then we can kind of get rolling with more of the meat of the questions. Does that work for you?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, cool. So just real quickly to kind of recap here, what were you doing? Like, where were you at before you started and joined the Super SDR community? What were you doing? What was kind of like your previous, kind of metrics, income levels? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been setting meetings professionally since I graduated college, which was 6 years ago at this point. So I knew I didn't really want to go the account executive route. And so I stayed in the meeting setting space. I had different titles, demand generation manager, BDR, all this stuff. But even in my like manager roles, I was still setting meetings. I still carried a meeting quota, and I was still mostly making cold calls.
Yeah.
And so as far as previous like income goes, right before I started, I was like 85 grand a year, assuming some commission, so 75 base and then some commission. So yeah, like 85 grand. And then when Hunter, I remember when we connected, told you my goal was 110, and then I was like 160 would actually be great, but I can't really imagine making 160.
Yeah.
And so yeah, which on pace to do that now. So so basically professional meeting setter, always with the interest of like starting a business. I had started a couple in the past, but they kind of flopped,
Tell the audience what you tried in the past or what you did.
So first company was when I was like 22. I started a clothing brand, spent $1,000 on a fancy logo, and then sold 2 shirts, one to my wife, one to my mother-in-law. Total revenue $50. Total like state taxes paid somehow like $250. So not my best venture. A couple years later, I started working with senior living facilities. So basically helping grandmas with technology. So I'd go give presentations about technology, scams, AI, all that stuff, and then some of the people would need like individual help, and so then I'd help them for like an hourly charge, which is a decent like side hustle, but a lot of effort went into that for not a ton of like output.
How much money did you
make? I made like $20,000 over 2 years, so good side hustle.
Yeah, you went from negative 200 to 20,000, right? And now you're whatever 15, 16K a month. Or on pace to do the 160. But okay, cool. So before you were employed full time when you joined, correct?
I was, yep.
Okay, gotcha. And you were at about like that 85K mark. Where do you feel like you've gotten the most value so far from the community? Like what resources or kind of assets in particular?
Yeah, I mean the classroom was the most valuable thing for me.
Okay.
I think like, between when I joined the community and when I got my first client, it was 18 days total.
Yeah.
And that was like with a full-time job. And I know that, so getting to basically square one, getting to a client was so, it was made way easier with the community. Like I'd considered doing this in the past. Like I was like, I know people could pay for this. I know I could probably do it freelance, but I never knew how to structure it. And so that was the most valuable thing for me. It's just like getting the confidence of like, this is a model that works, that's worked for other people. And now I can just like I was confident pitching the conversation model the first time, because I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Like tons of people do it. Like, I didn't even think about it, which wouldn't be the case. I was kind of figuring it out on my own.
Yeah. Okay. So the community, the classroom, just some like the frameworks and the models that we gave around like how to price yourself and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I connected with Logan. Rogie, I think his last name, Logan Rogie. His first name may not be Logan, but he's in the community.
You're talking about Caleb.
Caleb. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Caleb. I connected with him like after I was like 2 weeks in and I saw that he had just closed his first client. And so I
Yeah.
messaged him and just asked if he could like talk real quick. And my plan previously was like going in after a niche that I didn't really know about, but I figured there was a lot of opportunity in. But like I talked to Caleb and he was like basically told me, like gave me the advice of just like sticking with what you know, which has always been like scale up like B2B SaaS companies, which I knew way better than this other vertical. And so just with that like one conversation, I mean, that was a pretty significant pivot before I started dialing.
Yeah. Thank you, Caleb. I said thank you, Caleb, for the words of wisdom there for you.
Yeah, for real. And so I think like especially when you're starting, because it feels like fragile at the beginning because it's a new thing. You're not sure if it's going to work, all this stuff. And so just getting like even a minor like course correct from like a conversation or like just advice from other people, that was really, really valuable for me. And if I was talking to Chase like 3 months ago, I'd probably tell him the same thing. Like you may be able to do it on your own, but you'll get there a heck of a lot quicker, like with community.
I love it, man. And so when you joined, like what was like the big kind of hairy problem on your chest or mind or heart that you were trying to solve?
Like the reason why I joined the community, main reason.
Yeah.
I knew, well, like I'd been wanting to start a business for a long time, and it's something that's actually sustainable. I didn't love my job and didn't see like a future. Crazy thing is, Hunter, a week after I landed my first client, I actually got laid off.
Good timing.
And so that client replaced my salary plus a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, man, just a crazy coincidence.
And why did you get, what was the layoff? Just part of like a company like reorg, or what was the reason?
Yeah, I mean, I think from what I understand, they're trying to sell in like the next couple months, and so they're basically
cut all costs,
stripping it down to the bare bones. Stripping the business down a little bit, and then I don't think it is official yet, but I'm pretty sure they're trying to sell. So I know a few other people got hit with that, and it hasn't been my first time either. So I've just been around just on that roller coaster for a while. And so I wanted to do it because I knew I was capable of making more, or at least I had like a hunch that I had some skills or interest to like, be my own boss, business owner type of thing. Just never knew how. And so, when I started it, it was like I hope I can make, get like 20 grand saved up over the course of 2026 was my goal through the Super SDR community. Just save up like 20 grand. And then I can take then that affords me the ability to take a couple, like 3 months off of work to then pursue something else. So I was thinking much longer term. It's April now, 2026. I was thinking by the end of January, or by the end of December, I wanted 20 grand saved up. So it all just happened a lot quicker.
Have you got the 20 grand saved?
No, I'm not, but it's, it's my full-time income now. So I'm not really pursuing like just savings because I'm under contract with clients, and so I don't feel like I need to have a stockpile before I take a leap, because I've already kind of taken.
Because your goal was, let me hit the 20 grand and then I'll leave my day job or go do something different. Gotcha.
That's right. Yeah. And then I'll like take a risk or whatever. But.
Sure. And then the layoffs came, and it's like, okay, well now I've got a client already. Let me just keep diving into this. And so, it's interesting, man. I always tell people like, because a lot of people join for that same reason. Cliff was in the same boat. I did a call with him earlier today, and he was in the same boat where he had, the company went through a reorg. They're getting ready to sell. They laid off the SDR team. And he had to figure out like, well, like what's next. Right. And I often tell people, like, number one, it's easier. It's a lot of times it's easier to find a client than it is to find a job. Like there's less interviews, there's less like competition for it. Then the second part is like companies don't need SDRs. So like you have to understand that about your job in general, is that like, they need them, but they only need them when they need them, right? They don't, it's not like you have to have a bunch of outbound prospectors on your team making cold calls, booking meetings. Like if a company gets in a bind or a pinch, or they need to save money, or they need to make their books look better, or they need to raise another round, or they're stretching towards profitability. A lot of times we're working with B2B companies with reoccurring revenue, right? Like they don't, if they're not in scale mode, they're not in grow mode, like they don't need us, right? And that's why you just see people all the time just go through this constant battle of just like the hire and fire. They get brought on, they're there for a year, they get laid off. Is because for a lot of these companies, excuse me, that is the way that they approach it, right? It's like they think about SDRs as like turning on and off Facebook ads. They're like, do we need to grow? Okay, hire 20 SDRs. Oh, we need to save money? Okay, let's just fire them all, right? And that's kind of the way a lot of companies go through it. So talk about like what results you've been able to achieve so far. You would have joined officially on, when did you officially join? You joined officially on January 16th.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's at least that's what I have on school here, was your first day coming into school. So talk about kind of what results you've been able to achieve so far. I mean, I know 18 days or whatever, 16 days, you were able to close your first client. So talk to us a little bit about the results you've been able to achieve, what areas of maybe like your business or your life have improved, and just, kind of lead us down that.
Yeah. So it's kind of surreal, honestly, because I've been wanting to do this for so long, just never knew how.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, the quality of life has improved dramatically. Like, I feel like I work harder because, and there's also something different, like, and maybe I'm sure you've maybe felt this too. I don't know. It's newer, because I've only been a business owner for like 2 months now. But like the work feels more, it feels more essential, which is rewarding to know that you're just doing what needs to be done, but it's also a little tiring. So I'm like trying to like kind of work in, rest, schedule, basically. Like tomorrow I'm getting fitted for golf clubs, which is something that I've always wanted to do. I like golfing, but I would never take like a Friday morning to just go and do that. But told myself if I like hit the goals that I'm trying to hit by the end of today, which I have, then I'm going to go do that on a Friday morning and feel good about it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like liberty in being able to like, it's hard. It's still hard work for sure. But I was never scared of hard work. Like I wanted to do work that mattered. I wanted to be in control of time, and, have some control over income too. So overall, just massive life upgrade. As far as the more financial results. So this will be, so I'm starting with a client on Monday, and I'm starting with another one on the following Monday. Okay. So that'll be my fourth client closed.
Okay.
But one of them had to drop down to 2,000 a month.
Okay.
So and it's just not like they're really hard to deliver for too. So I don't think it really makes sense for either of us to continue, but I have some conversations left to have for them. So that just leaves these three clients. 2 of them are at 8K a month. And one of them is actually that W-2 role. That I messaged about
on the contract idea instead.
Yeah, I did. That's what I led with, but they were like, no, we're only comfortable doing with a W-2 model. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But I was super upfront with them that I wasn't going to be able to work 40 hours a week, that I was not going to work in person. Basically, I sent them an email being like, this is not a fit because I'm not going to be like a good W-2 employee. And that, and they ended up I got on a call with the CEO and he was like, that's fine. Don't worry about it. They're like a $50 million revenue company. And he's like, that's fine. He's like, if we're all in office, we'd love to have you for a few hours, because they're in Indianapolis. Yeah. He's like, but do whatever you want. Like I told him we're having a baby in June, which is a little over 2 months away.
Let's go.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah,
we're gonna do our check-in call a year. We're gonna do our check-in call a year from now. And your baby's gonna be it's gonna be babbling,
climbing on me and stuff,
getting up and walking around. Yeah. So super blessed by that. Madison and I, my wife, are really so cool. Girl or boy? Do you know?
Girl.
Nice, dude. You're gonna be a girl dad. You're your first kid?
Yes, sir. Am I what?
Is that your first kiddo?
Yeah, first kid.
Nice. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, first one. So yeah, between those two clients, and there's always, the first one, the client that I signed with, the 8K a month client that I signed with, is going really well right now. I'm starting with another one on the 20th at 8K a month. the W-2 one feels really solid.
Yeah. What are so is the W-2 ones different than the two 8K clients?
Yeah,
What are they
the W-2, 115 a year. So
okay,
like salary.
so bro, you're on pace to do more than 160. Just doing just do the quick math. Okay. 8 plus 8 is 16.
Yeah.
Plus call it another 9, call it 9. So if you kept everyone all year, you'd be on pace to do 300. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, assume one drops off or one doesn't go well or whatever. But dude, that is awesome. That makes me so happy to hear. That's exactly why I created this program. Like that right there is because someone who's making 85K a year, if they hit their OTE and they hit their whatever quota the company comes up with, that same exact person with the skill sets that they have today could just reposition and go from making 85K to being on track to clear over $200,000 and really actually on pace for more than that. But that's awesome, man. It makes me so happy to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. Appreciate you. Honestly, I don't know where. So the funny thing about them, they like accidentally offered me $100,000, like their first offer that they sent out, this W-2 role. But I thought I thought I needed to be in office 3 days a week. And so I like turned it down initially. I texted the contact that I was communicating with there. And I was like, hey, thanks for your time. Like I'm not gonna do this. And then they were like, no, we like messed up. Basically, then they were like, whatever schedule you want, we'll increase the salary. And I was just like, it's insane what's happening.
You're like, bro, wait a second, what? You're like, this is crazy.
Yeah, just from basically not. And if I didn't have clients, if it wasn't for this community, I would have accepted that in a heartbeat, because that would have been a $15,000 raise, 3 days in the office, whatever. I would have commuted an hour each way every day. And I'm just like, holy, just how much of a difference it makes.
That amount of leverage where you're just like, no, hey guys, I'm good. And then it's like, of all things, they come back and offer more. Right?
Yeah, leverage.
It's the truest sense of like when you're not needy, when you're not coming from a place of scarcity, and you're actually in a state of abundance. Like, dude, abundance just continues to come towards you. Right? It's what happens. Right? Is when you get yourself out. It's like when people are in a state of scarcity and they're not doing very well and they're not making very much. It's like it's hard for things to seem like they're going to change. And then it's like when you start to get a couple wins, it's like the wins just seem to keep coming, right? And it's because that's shift. It's because you shift from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance.
For sure. Yeah, being willing to like say no, being willing to turn things down.
You did say no multiple times.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. What do you think what's your ROI been on the community so far?
So far? I mean, so far I've closed like 17,500.
Okay. Okay.
And then I should, in the next like week, I'm expecting, so like this month I made 10 grand.
Okay.
But like next month with all 3 of those active, it's gonna like double.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna be busy, man. You're gonna be busy. You have to make sure you're disciplined with your time, your schedule, what you're doing. Make sure you're getting a couple rounds of golf in on the weekends, because during the week you're gonna be heads down. But it's a small price to pay to get to where you're trying to go, and to live the dream out. Do you know where you
gearing up?
Do you know where you first heard about the community or Super SDR or myself in general?
Yeah, your LinkedIn post. It was like a picture of your desk. And it was like, I was working as an SDR. I quit, started my own thing. Year 1, I made 100,000. Year 2, I made whatever. Year 3, 300,000. Yeah. And then I DM'd you. You like prompted people to DM you. Yeah. So I did.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So it's for the post. That's good to know. Okay. And what finally made you pull for you? It was quick, right? Some people I talked to, like I was talking with Cliff earlier, and like Cliff has seen my content and we're like DMing back and forth for like a year and a half. Elijah, like same deal. Like Elijah and I were friends for like a year, and then he finally joined. You were just kind of like, you got it, you saw it, you're like, oh, this makes sense. And then I remember it was just like, boom, like you were here, like you were in. And so what what to you, was it because you'd already thought about it before, or like what helped you kind of come to that decision quickly? Like, hey, this is something I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was an alignment of like everything that I knew that I wanted to do. Like it
Yeah.
just felt right. You know, I thought about doing this specifically before. I
Yeah.
thought about, you know, owning my own business a number of times. And it was finally like, okay, this feels better than any other like venture or idea that I've had. They were real results. And ultimately it came down to a conversation with my wife. I told her, I was like, I just basically laid it all out. We watched some of the testimonials online. We were like doing it together. And she was like, yeah, she's like, I think you could do this. Like, I think this is it too. And I'm like, right. And then so we actually,
you're like, right. Thank you. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, this is the right thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, totally. Because when you're kind of like dreaming, which to me, like at least the way I grew up influences in my life, it's like you work a W-2 job and you bust your butt at whoever's paying your salary, and then that's life.
And then you do that for 40 years and then you retire, right? Like that was my family too. Like my stepmom worked at John Deere Financial for 30 years. My dad was a sales rep at his company for almost 30 years. And so it was just like, you know, that's just what you did. And I'm the same way. It was just like, that was never going to be enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So almost felt like the entrepreneurial itch was almost like immature, like just grow up and just do your job, work hard. And I always felt like it's not because I don't want to work hard. It's because this sucks. It's because I'm just like spinning my gears in just like, basically it kind of feels like you're just like pressing a button. Your job is just to sit there, press a button all day.
Well, you're
like
a cog. At the end of the day, you are a cog in the wheel of the machine. Yeah. Right. Like, and not that we're not still cogs in the wheel of our client's machine, like we are, right? But we also have the luxury of like being the machine itself too, right? And there's just a different feeling when you go from like, you're providing someone a service and you're helping them and you're providing them value and they respect you and they respect your ideas and your input and your output, versus like you have a job and it's just expected. People are usually a little less grateful unless you have like some good managers or like good middle level management or whatever. But it's just a different vibe, right? When you're like go from being a cog in the wheel to being, you know, more of the machine yourself. How likely would you be to recommend the Super SDR community to someone who's maybe in the same position that you were in, right? Who's done the SDR thing for a while. They're kind of deciding between like maybe a couple different business opportunities. What should I do? What should I pursue? How likely would you be to recommend the community, and why should someone listening who's in that position take action right now?
Yeah. I'd say, I mean, I can speak to the situation that I was in. And I feel like there are a lot of people that are maybe in a similar like situation. You know, basically, if you have sales experience, particularly like SDR type experience, basically if you've set meetings before, if you have ever listened to like an Alex Hormozy podcast, or if you like listening to like Diary of a CEO when he has like entrepreneur guests on, if you like find yourself drawn towards like business and growth and entrepreneurship and stuff, and you have sales experience, then I mean, if you feel like it's you know the right time for you, like whoever would be listening, I'd say like it can be completely life changing. You know, it can be a 180-degree directional change, and within 2 months, my wife and I's lives, our future plans, everything looks much different now. In the best way.
Is she happy? She excited?
She's very happy. Yeah, she's not planning to go back after maternity leave.
Dude, let's go. I love it, bro. I love it, dude. That makes me so happy, bro. I'm not like one of those like misogynistic guys who's like, got girls shouldn't work, right? But it's like when you can offer them like the ability to not have to, right? Like it just feels like you're doing your job, right? It feels like you're showing up in the way that someone should show up for them, right? And like so, like my fiance now, right?
Congrats.
Yeah, I appreciate that. She's going back to medical school And just like to be able to offer that luxury of like, hey, look, like, don't worry about working right now. Get caught up on your school stuff, get back into medical school, and like, just like go pursue that, like get on track, and we can worry about, like, you're going to build an 8-figure practice later on in your life. Like, I get that. Okay. So being able to offer like those, that as a benefit. And yeah, that's awesome, man. What do you think we can improve about the community?
I feel like there's some people in there. I didn't fully understand that there were people in there that weren't dialing for themselves, like landing their own clients. I didn't realize that there's kind of a part of the community that dials for community campaigns, part of the community that just dials on their own. And so I remember being kind of like confused about that when I joined.
Okay.
Like, I kept messaging Nosh. I was like, wait, why are you doing this? I was like, you just booked 6 meetings today. And and it was really just coming from a place of like not understanding. Like, Nosh likes the community campaigns. He's good at it. It's consistent, like all that. But there was a little bit of initial kind of like confusion about that divide. So just like, I guess kind of structure, like who's in the community, what are they doing? And just something like that. And I know it's changing constantly, but
okay. No, that's really good feedback there. Just kind of like separating more of the divide, letting people know the different options they have. I did a call with Nosh earlier today to get his feedback on the community. And he told me what he was making some of the months working on the community campaigns. I was like, wait a second, how much did I pay you in December and January? Like, he was making like pretty good, doing like $8,000 a month, $9,000 a month, just on some of the community campaigns, which I was awesome. I was actually pretty stoked to hear that. But this is great, man. I really appreciate it, Chase. I want to be respectful of your time, let you get back to work. I know you got a bunch on your plate and you're busy, but I'll get this edited, sent over to you, make sure everything looks good with you before we push it out. But just want to say thank you again, man. And I appreciate all your hard work in the community. It's really a light for people to see other folks come in, have success, do the thing, do it the way that we teach it, right? Do it the way we preach it, the right type of model, the right type of pricing, getting paid up front for the things that we can control. And so it's been awesome to see your success, and I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. We'll do a check-in call in a year or so. You'll be 300K year one. Right now, the record for the highest first year earner is actually Elijah came in and did 250 his first year. And so
nice.
You might crack that, bro. You're on pace.
Oh, we'll see.
You're on pace, but either way, dude, have a good one, man. And we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Sonny.
See you.